What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/ProRevenge. This story's called My Delusional Ex-Girlfriend Emigrated to Her Entitled Dad in New Zealand. So made entitled dad and ex-girlfriend lose 7,300 euros. This post also could fit into r/entitled parents because of the entitled dad, but the revenge is too sweet for that subreddit. To give you some background, I'll tell you some things that will be important later. My ex-girlfriend loves her dad, entitled dad. She isn't even bothered by the fact that her entitled dad abandoned ex-girlfriend and her sister when she was 5 years old and her sister 3. Entitled dad cheated on my ex-girlfriend's mother, a sweet and caring woman with a random affair. After that came out, he divorced and moved to New Zealand. I live in Germany, so it's literally the other side of the world. Entitled dad left his children behind and moved to the other side of the world because he cheated on his wife. After he moved, entitled dad kept contact with ex-girlfriend and tried to manipulate her into thinking that her mother, that sweet and caring woman, is a bad person and that he is so much better. Entitled dad doesn't even care about ex-girlfriend. Everything he does is to hurt ex-girlfriend's mother. He wants to break her and uses her daughter as his weapon. I know all that because ex-girlfriend's little sister got sick of entitled dad's bullcrap as she got older. She told me everything about him and that he tried to make her mother look bad. My ex-girlfriend's best friend since childhood is also a friend of mine and told me stuff too, and I got to meet him personally, but more about that later. The manipulation, however, seemed to work on my ex-girlfriend. She is so delusional about entitled dad that she literally said things like, "He's the best father in the world," or "He is always there for me." Yeah, always there for you on a Skype call twice a month. I tried not to speak about entitled dad with my ex-girlfriend because as soon as someone tried to show her what kind of a person he is, she feels attacked and gets pissed and aggressive. All of her friends and family hates entitled dad and tried to talk to her, but same reaction. The months went by and ex-girlfriend finished her school, the Abitur. I think it's like high school in America. It allows you to go to a university. She decided that she wants to spend a year in New Zealand to stay with her dad for a few months and then do work and travel. I was out of my mind when she told me that. I knew her dad manipulated her into that and that this was his idea. Everyone tried to talk her out of it, in fear she would not return for 2 years because she said that entitled dad mentioned that if you stay for 2 years in New Zealand and have a relative as a legal citizen, you can get a visa and can live and return there whenever you want. I checked it, and as far as I understood, it is a legit fact. Well, at least one thing entitled dad didn't lie about. But you already guessed it, she wanted to move to her dad and said things like, "I'll never be happy if I don't do it," and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, go see your father and do work and travel, but we all knew her well enough to see that if she's there, she'll stay. Probably longer than 2 years, because entitled dad is able to manipulate her into anything. It's freaking mental abuse. Of course, entitled dad called her many times a week all of a sudden and told her how great it will be and bullcrap like that. Then he told her that he will be there when she gets her testimony and on her graduation party. In my head, I thought about many ways to just get rid of him when I heard the news, but I came to the conclusion that I couldn't do much. I'm sure he only flew over because he wanted to make sure that my ex-girlfriend does not change her plans and to make ex-girlfriend's mother sad and angry. She sometimes cried at night when entitled dad was a topic at the dinner table. So yeah, she really is done with him. The big day came and I saw him for the first time. I saw pictures before, but only his face. A small, smudgy looking guy. He was wearing wearing jeans and an ugly yellow white striped shirt. But his shoes were like cowboy boots, but only ankle high. He looked like a mirror of his personality. There are too many stories about entitled dad at the graduation party, which are not really relevant for the revenge, but I include them as a little extra. Let me make you hate this guy even more. When ex-girlfriend got her testimony, ex-girlfriend's mother was crying in joy because she did everything for her daughter and it was such a big deal for her that ex-girlfriend got her testimony. Entitled dad, however, came out of the building, saw the scene, rolled his eyes, and went inside again to flirt with the single moms. He married again in New Zealand, by the way. I had to calm down, otherwise I'd have killed this little turd cranium. Second story shows how important entitled dad thinks he is. Ex-girlfriend's mother has a new partner too, and entitled dad met him at the after-show party. Entitled dad spoke in perfect German with everyone at the party. When entitled dad introduced himself to the new partner, he spoke in English. "Hi, my name is entitled dad and I'm from New Zealand. Nice to meet you." My God, yes, we get it. You cheated on your wife and moved to the other side of the world. Now, finally, the revenge. I talked hours with my ex-girlfriend about our relationship and that I couldn't do a long-distance relationship for more than a year. And it really is that way. I'm not made for that. She promised she only wanted to stay for 9 months. Half a year with entitled dad and 3 months work and travel. She said that she had a ticket booked in 9 months and showed the email to me. She also gave me full permission to her German bank account, where her father pays monthly 200 euros child support on her. She also would transfer money every month as soon as she gets work in New Zealand to have a head start as soon as she returns. Fast forward 9 months later. Over the last months, I tried my best to keep the relationship alive. The hardest thing to deal with was the time zone difference. She reached out to me and said, "I want to have 1 or 2 more months with my dad." I couldn't believe this. We screamed at each other on the telephone, but in the end, I could wait 2 months more. She asked me to postpone her ticket, and I did. Later that month, I saw on her bank account that almost 300 euros were gone. But after a little bit of research, I found out it was a bill for postponing her flight ticket. A little idea came into my head. I would not tell her anything about that, and for every month she further breaks her promise, she'll have to pay. But that's not all. A few weeks later, I was looking through Instagram and looked through ex-girlfriend's followers. One guy had a profile picture with my girlfriend in it. His profile is public, and then I saw the picture. Him kissing ex-girlfriend with the caption, 4-month anniversary. I lost my crap. She met a guy and makes me wait because she wants to have somebody over here she can always return to and who manages all her stuff. The idea of costing her hundreds of euros every month is too good. Well, too bad I have the total control of your bank account. I now knew she wouldn't come home anytime soon. I faked the relationship. I acted like everything was fine, and it really wasn't hard to. Every evening, I write to my mother how my day was and stuff like that. It makes her happy and is no big deal for me. So I just changed "Hello Mom" to "Hey Babe" and sent ex-girlfriend the same text every evening I sent my mother before. I basically cut contact. I told her I have a new job and have to go to sleep early. Everything for my revenge plan. I simply postponed the ticket every month, lived my life and had no trouble at all. The first year went over well and she already lost 3,600 euros, but it just gets better. I broke up with her, confronted her with the affair, and said she could stay where she is. I didn't want to spend much time on the breakup because it was over a year ago for me. I, however, hoped she would forget about her bank account that I have all the permission for, and she sure did. Another year went by, and another 3,600 euros are just gone. Do you remember ex-girlfriend's best friend? She called me one day and asked me why I have stolen thousands of euros from ex-girlfriend's bank account. That ex-girlfriend gave her sister all the permission over the bank account and that only a couple hundred euros would be on the account. I told her I postponed the flight every month because ex-girlfriend didn't say otherwise. I also told her that ex-girlfriend cheated on me and everything else. Ex-girlfriend's best friend was pissed. She told me a few days later that ex-girlfriend told her that the money was for a new car for her dad and that he did so much for her, so that is the least she could do. Ex-girlfriend's words. Entitled dad had the idea, and of course ex-girlfriend's delusional ass thought that it'd be a great idea. All the money he had to pay for her. Entitled dad paid every month, but only because he knew he would get back all the money anyway for a new car. When he found out that all the money was gone, Entitled dad had a big argument with ex-girlfriend and she had to move out. Entitled dad kicked her out and she had to see how she would manage her situation. Well, I can tell ya. She does not have any backup money. She lost 7,300 euros and her sister legally took the rest of the money in the bank account and closed it. No more money from Germany, no more money from Entitled dad, no more friends in Germany. I got my revenge and she is completely broken about how her dad treated her. She also lost every friend in her home country because everyone knows what she did to me. Her family abandoned her because she never even called, and she called her mother names. It's probably because of the manipulation on Entitled Dad's part. And Entitled Dad is more than pissed about the 7,300 euros he'll never see. Thanks for reading, and remember, look out for your money yourself, especially when you are a lying and cheating butthole. Okay, so yeah, ex-girlfriend really messed up there. Oh boy. This story's called Malicious Compliance vs. ProRevenge. Disclaimer to begin, writing this on mobile while half watching a toddler in a kiddie pool. Forgive me and my foul mouth. And like any good story, we need a bit of backstory to set the stage. High school sucked because I was a forever friend-zoned nerdy gamer guy, so I decided for my senior year, I was gonna get out of Ohio and study abroad. I slept through 3 years of German, so I applied to go to Germany, ended up getting placed in Salzburg, Austria, which is the most beautiful place on earth I've been to date and need to visit again soon. The study abroad place had a few warnings for the next year before I left. Don't get into criminal trouble, don't get crap grades, and don't fall in love. My only danger with the first one was my lead foot. I totaled my first car, but was allowed to drive my old man's 95 Ranger 4-cylinder 5-speed, and it barely got out of its own way. The second one, I did get enough C's and B's without caring much. The third one, through some teenage angsty drama that is a story for another time, I end up meeting, dating, and falling madly in love with my now wife and mother of my daughter. I am 17, work full-time for summer. As stated, my old man lets me borrow his truck after I get off work. The rules are, I have to be home by 10 weekdays and 11 on weekends. He justifies this that if I broke down or whatever, he'd have to come get me and fix the truck before he had to leave for work at 6. To my turbocharged hormones, this is tyranny. I spend every moment I'm not at work with my girlfriend because boobs and making out are awesome. But summer is quickly coming to an end and I have to leave the country. The last day before I have to leave, my old man eases the restriction and says I can have until midnight to be home and can be gone all day. We leave for NYC the next morning at 10. This is when I hatch a plan. I'm leaving the country, so I can't be given a worse curfew or extra chores, and my family wouldn't piss away the study abroad money unless it was dire. I spend the whole day with my girlfriend and tell her to wait up after I leave. I have a surprise. I drive home and make it there at 11:58, creep into my room and spend the next hour aiming her. At 1, I roll the truck down the driveway driveway and head back to her house, fall asleep with her in my arms. Life is perfect. I knew full and goddamn well I was breaking the intent, but not the letter of the law. My argument was that my old man never said how early I could go to her house. I never woke up before noon, so it was just left unsaid. Perfect malicious compliance in my head. I wake up at 9, just enough time for a teary goodbye and to haul my ass home to head to NYC to fly to Vienna. But I look out the door and the truck is gone. I panic and realize I'm a dead man. My trip is off and I'm gonna have to work all the hours to pay my old man back for a stolen truck and a wasted trip. I'm never gonna have time to see my girlfriend and I'll never experience Europe like I wanted. I call my old man in this panic to hear him answer with deafening silence upon hearing the news. Now for my old man's pro-revenge. He heard me roll in just before midnight and went fully to sleep. He did not hear me roll out at 1 because years of playing Dungeons and Dragons taught me how to be a good sneaky archer type. But when he woke up at 6 and saw both the truck and I were gone, he knew there was only one place in the world I could possibly be. So he and my stepmom drove to my girlfriend's, and with the spare key, he took the truck and went home. When he got my call a few hours later, he gave me a full 30-second beat, and then began yelling and told me I better find his damn truck or I was never gonna see the outside of my room again, much less my girlfriend or Austria. I'm freaking out, running around her neighborhood, asking if anyone had seen the truck, about to call the cops, when he calls back 5 minutes later, laughing his ass off. He tells me he stole the truck and I was in deep crap and I better be home fast. He makes me get a ride home with my girlfriend and her mom. When I arrive, he is standing in the driveway, smug as hell. I get berated for an entire 6-hour drive to New York City about how big of a dumbass I am and leave the country as planned. It all works out in the end. I got the girl who I am happily with 17 years later, and the truck until she died of Ohio rust 12 years later. Okay, normally I end with a wholesome story, but I felt this one was wholesome in and of itself, and it was too perfectly sized of a story given the size of the other one. So yeah, this is a really good story. I really liked it. I'm glad he didn't get into too much trouble. I'm hoping that the berating for 6 hours was more or less just like, you know, fun berating, and they were all cool about the situation because he technically didn't break any rules. If my kid did this, I'd be like, bro, I got you. The coochie be making you act some sort of way. I got you, bro. I've been there. That was gross, but it was a joke. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.